Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Teveron here, and welcome to another episode of Friday Night Magic. Now, please, before you get carried away, I am promising you this is not a revisiting of a deck that we've played before. Though some of these cards may look the same, I assure you, this is something completely different. Well, different in most ways. This is the deck that Socur won the recent Steam Showdown with. And while it is doing some things that we ourselves have done in the past with black-red aggro, it is not that deck. It can get some wins that way, but there are a lot of complex lines with this deck. And a lot of really intricate interactions, so much so that I do ask you to bear with me, because I am almost certainly not going to play this deck perfectly. And yet, it is a blast to play. Anyway, let's look at what's going on here. Some of the cards, like I said, you have seen in decks that I've ran before. A pair of Bomat Couriers to exile cards, and then we can sack and put into our hand. It also has haste. Also, 3 Lightning Axe, 5 damage removal spell that you either pay 5 more mana or discard a card for. Then we get into some different choices. Asylum Visitor here is a 2-mana 3/1, also has Madness of 2, so if it's discarded you can pay a black and a generic and cast her. Also, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, you draw a card and lose a life. That's something that in most circumstances this deck is trying to do aggressively, get to no cards in hand. If so, it can draw a lot of extra cards and do a lot of really busted things. Also, 2 Lupine Prototype, can't attack or block unless a player has no cards in hand. Again, that is our goal in most circumstances with this deck, to get to Hellbent, which means having no cards in hand. It is a 2-mana 5/5. Also, 2 Scrapheap Scrounger, a 2-mana 3/2 that can recur and can't block. Smuggler's Copter, the ubiquitous vehicle as always. 2 Key to the City as more discard outlets as well as additional card draw. A Singleton Avacyn's Judgment. This is another one of our Madness cards. For a red and a generic, it deals 2 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or players, just like Twin Bolt. However, if it's discarded, then it is a red and X, and it deals X damage divided any way you choose among creatures or players. Then 2 Prized Amalgam. And this card actually can be cast at times in the deck. There's not a lot of blue mana available, just in the form of Aether Hubs, but the important thing about Prized Amalgam is, whenever a creature enters the battlefield, if it entered from your graveyard or you cast it from your graveyard, then Prized Amalgam comes back at the beginning of the next end step as well. Olivia, Mobilized for War, is a 3-mana flying 3/3. When another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you can discard a card, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature, and it gains haste, and also becomes a vampire, in addition to its other types. Next on the vehicle list are a pair of Cultivator's Caravans, fixing our mana, as well as a Crew 3 5/5. 4 Fiery Temper, more Madness spells. 3 Unlicensed Disintegration, very efficient removal, as well as an added bonus of dealing 3 to a creature's controller if we control an artifact. We're running Kalitas, 2 black and 2 colorless, lifelink, exiles your opponent's non-token creatures when they die, and we get 2/2 black zombies, and we can sacrifice other vampires or zombies to put counters on Kalitas. Also 3 Haunted Dead. When it comes into play, you get a 1/1 white spirit creature with flying, and if it's in your graveyard, you can pay a black and a generic to discard 2 cards and return Haunted Dead from your graveyard onto the battlefield tapped. There is synergy between Haunted Dead and Prized Amalgam, as you can discard Prized Amalgam to Haunted Dead's ability, and as the discard is part of the cost of returning it, it is in the graveyard when Haunted Dead returns, and so it returns at end of turn as well. Also, 2 Bloodhall Priest, another Madness creature. 4/4 for 4 or for 3 Madness. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, if you have no cards in hand, it deals 2 damage to target creature or player. And now we're getting into the meat of the deck, the cool things. 2 Ghirapur Orreries, a 4-cost artifact. Each player may play an additional land on each of his or her turns. And at the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, as we have already stated is our goal, that player draws 3 cards. And a Midnight Oil for 4 mana. It enters the battlefield with 7 hour counters on it. At the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card and remove 2 hour counters from Midnight Oil. Your maximum hand size is equal to the number of hour counters on Midnight Oil, and whenever you discard a card, you lose 1 life. Now, that last part is not a benefit, it's a cost, but still, lots and lots of card draw, and lots of things rewarding us for having no cards in hand. And last but not least of the non-land cards is Skysovereign, Consul, Flagship. Flying, whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, deals 3 damage to a creature or planeswalker. Crew 3, 6/5 vehicle. The mana base is 7 swamps, 8 mountains, 2 Smoldering Marsh, 2 Dragonskull Summit, and 3 Aether Hubs. Hopefully, the games that we play here will showcase some of the more busted things that this deck is capable of, although it can get wins just in a normal sort of black-red aggro fashion. The late game and the interesting discard and draw and such effects are what make this deck really stand out, and I've been having a blast with it. But without further ado, let's get in there. Okay. We're a bit short on mana here, but I think this is worth keeping. We'll go Lupine Prototype first, most likely. Hopefully we'll draw a 3rd land in time to start getting our Cultivator's Caravan and our other cards online. Smoldering Marsh from the opponent there. Alright, Fiery Temper for us. We'll go ahead and play a mountain. Okay, so the opponent isn't getting an incredibly fast start. That's good. Come on, land. Come on, land. Second Lupine Prototype. Not really what the doctor ordered. Perhaps I should have mulliganed this. However, we can't mulligan 2 land hands. We can't mulligan 2 hand lands super aggressively, as the deck is only running 22 lands total. So getting 3 in our opening hand isn't something we can count on doing. Alright, there we go. And so, we are going to play our Caravan. And now we're at 4 and can start deploying our bigger threats. Also, the Caravan is a blocker. Lupine Prototype can crew that, and it can block Lily if we need it to. Although that would be exposing it to removal, so maybe that's not something we want to risk, especially since they're all too cavalier about attacking with her. Or thinks better of it. Realizes I can crew perhaps and they don't have the removal in hand? Apparently so. They do make their 4th land drop. Okay, so that's it. We drew another land. That's good for us. The question is, what do we want to play? We could attack and then play something second main, or just play Kalitas out and then crew and swing with the Caravan. I think that's what we're going to do. Alright, removal? Yes. Still don't know why they didn't swing trying to get us to activate this and kill it. If we hadn't blocked, they would have lost nothing. They would have just gained damage versus us plus 2 life from the lifelink on Lily. Mirror Wing Dragon. Whenever a player casts an instant or a sorcery spell that targets only Mirror Wing, that player copies that spell for each other creature he or she controls that the spell could target. Okay. So if we target Mirrorwing, we have to target our stuff as well. So we don't want to do that. We're going to Dragonskull Summit. And I think we're just going to Fiery Temper Lily here. Just go ahead and get her off the board. Yeah. Here we go. Then we'll play out our other prototype. Don't have the mana available to sack the zombie to Kalitas, so no use in leaving that mana up. And no use suiciding into the dragon either. And we are getting a little close to emptying our hand and turning on our prototypes, as well as the other synergies which we haven't drawn yet in the deck. Pia and Kieran, okay? So we're going to be hard up, honestly, to deal with this dragon, because anything we point at it is also going to get pointed at all of our creatures. Which is unfortunate. But we can swing with Kalitas. See if our opponent's willing to block, then we can sack a zombie and grow Kalitas. I don't know if they don't see it, or maybe they have a lightning axe to kill it in response to this. That's fine. Okay, no. Well, at least Mirrorwing is off the battlefield now. That makes things a lot easier for us. Okay, Abbott. What do you exile there, Abbott? A land? Yep, Dragonskull. Okay, opponent goes ahead and plays that. I think we're in a decent position here. Bloodhall Priest from them. Okay. That's a very good draw for us. What we want to do now is swing with Kalitas and see how they decide to block. Okay. So I am going to see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, they're going to be able to kill Kalitas. However, we are going to also kill everything of theirs. And we will begin by disintegrating the Bloodhall Priest. And if we had had one more mana up, we could have saved Kalitas. But I think being left with 4 zombies and 2 prototypes is okay. It's an okay trade. Well, except for Chandra coming down and getting rid of our zombies, but it's going to be alright, I think. We'll kill her after this. Alrighty. There is a land. Let's go ahead and Fiery Temper Chandra. We need a discard outlet is what we're needing right now to start our reanimation train rolling. Getting our hand empty and swinging with these monsters. Forerunner of Slaughter, okay? Give it self-haste, perhaps, and swing. Also, not to be neglected, we are at 30 life, so that gives us time to get going. Lily, however, is a problem we need to deal with ASAP. Alright, ticking up on a prototype. Also worth noting that if our opponent empties their hand, these guys get to start swinging and blocking. if we draw a key to the city, then we can actually kill Lily this turn. We didn't, but we are going to go ahead and play our land, and then play our Haunted Dead. Perhaps our opponent will do us a favor and kill this for us, and then we can bring it back, discarding our hand, and start swinging with our prototypes. Lily gonna kill the spirit, maybe? Nope, just shrinking the Haunted Dead. Well, I will definitely block with that, if they attack. Second Forerunner. And we'll give it haste. I may be wrong, but I don't think that this is all going to go the way the opponent wants it to. We're going to take one of these. We'll block the other with the Haunted Dead. And we have to have 2 cards in hand to discard. We couldn't with just the one. However, we've got that now, so let's bring back our Haunted Dead. That's fine. We'll discard these. Madness the Bloodhall Priest. So in actuality, only discarding 1. 2 damage to their face. And I'm going to swing both of these prototypes at Lily in case that this last card in their hand is a removal spell. Attack here. Let's pull this spirit back and attack face. Alright, feels like we're in a decent position. Collective Defiance, alright. Biggest thing they can kill is Bloodhall Priest. They would need additional damage to kill a prototype. And they are, and they're also going to discard and draw. Just a land was all that remained in their hand. So do you keep being aggressive or do you block? You keep being aggressive. That is interesting. No blocks. Especially as we have 14 damage on the board. So you're dead. That's what you're saying? Guess they were maybe counting on us not being able to play whatever we drew? Anyway, on to the next game. Yeah, discard this. Let's draw a new one. Much better, I think. We do need an actual red mana source. The Aether Hub can do it in a pinch, but we may be using it for blue for the Prized Amalgam. Looks like our turn 2 is going to be Smuggler's Copter, though, at present. Just drew that, so that's good. Mono red showing so far from the opponent. Unlicensed Disintegration, good. So we will Smuggler's Copter. And I think we're not going to cast the Prized Amalgam. We'll probably pitch it to the Copter should we actually get to activate. I would like for this to be our backup red because Unlicensed Disintegration may be super necessary here. Bomat Courier as well. So let's play our Scrapheap Scrounger. Play our Bomat Courier. And we'll have the Scrounger crew the Copter as it is summoning sick and can't attack. And then we'll try to swing. Looks like our Copter's dying. Or maybe not. Yes, okay. The Courier and the Copter. That's fine. Would prefer it hadn't happened, but, you know, what can you do? So, as it stands, probably Cultivator's Caravan next turn. Firecraft on our face. Okay. We can recur the Scrounger, so I guess that's why they did that. Lightning Axe. Well, let's play our Caravan and swing for 3. Wonder if the opponent's hand is just full of burn. That would explain the exquisite Firecraft to the face so aggressively there. Glory Chaser, okay. Anything else? No? Well, let's Lightning Axe that. It's a bit overkill, but discard this. Okay, that's a good draw. That lets us try to attack with our Caravan this turn. Looks like it may succeed. And it does. Good deal. Well, we are definitely playing Midnight Oil and drawing some cards. We'll draw a card on each of our draw steps, and then we will have a smaller hand size as the hour counters tick down. Alright, Bedlam Reveler. Discarded some pump spells. Alright, there's our extra card. And 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We don't quite have them dead yet, but we can get them pretty low. So let's crew. And put them to 4. Well, we haven't really done super busted things these 2 games, but I think you can see that the deck really does have some legs on it. Hopefully we will get a Ghirapur Orrery out at some point over the course of this video. Alright. Let's draw some cards, shall we? Fiery Temper and Dragonskull Summit. Alright. Well, going to play our land. Our maximum hand size is now at 3. Then we could play Haunted Dead and crew this, then swing with both. I think that's probably our best bet. They're definitely going to block the Caravan, I think, anyway. So Fiery Tempering their face is not going to get the job done. Crew. Also, this leaves us mana up to reanimate the Scrapheap Scrounger should it die. Twin Bolt on the Scrounger, I would suppose. Scrounger and the Spirit. Okay, that makes sense. And they have to chump there as well. And we want to wait until our opponent's turn to reanimate Scrounger. However, we can't wait till they're in phase, because if we do, then the Amalgam will not come back in time for us to attack with it. So I generally do it during combat. So we'll bring this back. That's fine. We will remove the Bomat Courier. This does make it a bit more vulnerable to Sorcery Spree removal, but if we do it at the very end step, then the Prized Amalgam won't trigger until our end step. And another Prized Amalgam. Great. Well, let's attack for a bunch. Oops. Cancel. Let's click correctly here, please. Confirm. And swing. And I will see you guys in the next game. Okay. This is an interesting hand, as we don't have black for the Asylum Visitor. However, we do have Scrapheap Scrounger and Key to the City, which we can cast, so I'm going to keep it. Being on the play is nice. Get to start doing our thing a little quicker. Would still like to draw a black mana source, of course. Another red. Play out our Scrounger. Probably do not want both of these Key to the Cities. Most likely we'll be discarding one to the other. Although if the game goes really long, 2 Key to the Cities would be pretty good. Well, that's black mana for us, so that's awesome. Let's attack. Okay, and play our Swamp, and we'll play a Key to the City here. That way we can discard this other Key to the City, draw a card, paying 2 mana when it untaps. We'll leave our Swamp available, and then the next card we discard to it can be the Asylum Visitor, and we can play it for its madness cost. Okay, let's discard. Sure, we don't actually have to choose a creature, but that's fine. We'll discard the key. And we do want to pay this. Yep, with both the red. Thank you for choosing correctly. Smoldering Marsh is an excellent draw there, so we'll play that out. And attack. Alright, pass back. PNLR, alrighty. Looks like they don't have a land drop. Let's go ahead and discard the Asylum Visitor. We will play it. And we will draw a card here. That's fine. There's the Orrery, so we may have to take a turn off of Key to the Citying and get the Orrery into play. However, I think we want to give our Asylum Visitor unblockable. We'll discard the Mountain. And we're also going to disintegrate Pia, so they can't kill our Scrapheap Scrounger. That'll also deal 3 damage, as we do have artifacts in play. And swing for 6. Alright, they're going to soak up some damage. And they have left. We will finish this out. No, Copter Engineer, alrighty. This turn we're not going to draw a card with Key to the City. We want to make sure and be able to play our Orrery. Avacyn's Judgment, okay. Well, let's play our Orrery out. Then we are also going to Lightning Axe there. discarding Avacyn's Judgment. Unfortunately, we can't trigger the Madness on it. And then we're only going to swing with the Scrapheap Scrounger. And then if our Orrery and our Asylum Visitor both survive to our next turn, we're going to draw a total of 5 cards. 3 from the Orrery, 1 from the Asylum Visitor, and 1 for our turn. Alright, another Engineer. And it looked like our things are surviving, so let's draw a bunch of cards, shall we? There's the Visitor. Ah, it's a non-bow. I did not realize I should have discarded this to Key to the City. That way the Orrery would trigger as I had a card in hand. We didn't get to draw 3 from it. Okay, good to know. Have not had that happen before. So we'll play our Summit and play our Kalitas. And as the Visitor and the Orrery are kind of a non-bow, which if we had known we could have discarded to Key to the City and still got our draw, I will offer it up for trade, and if they choose to trade, that's fine. Alright. Looks like they are not choosing to trade. So we need to be aware and pause after our first draw from Asylum Visitor. It happens during our upkeep. And the Orrery happens during the upkeep as well. So, just triggering on here in the order they were played. Whereas in Paper Magic, you get to choose which of your triggers goes on the stack first. Alright, opponent AI there crewing the Copter. Probably not a great idea, as they are in danger of dying. Guess they're looking for something? Selfless Spirit into the yard. And Dragon Fodder, okay. Alright, need to pause after this. Pause, please. So we will cast this. And kill this. They'll take 3. And then we should draw the 3 from Orrery. As our hand is empty, and we do. Lovely 4 cards there. We'll play our land. And we could attack, we could kill this. Whatever, we're going to Fiery Temper. And I'll see you guys in the next game. Yeah, we will keep this. We'll go Smuggler's Copter into Lupine Prototype. Both the Copter and the Key to the City gives us the potential to discard Haunted Dead and then recur it for 2 mana. Good to draw our red source. Happy to see that. Play our Smuggler's Copter. Alright, showing Jeskai colors from the opponent thus far. But nothing presenting itself. Let's go ahead and play our Prototype. Hopefully they don't have a horribly awry. Seems they don't. They could still have removal for our Copter, though. Looks like we're going to get to swing. Good deal. They do have Blessed Alliance. I'm actually okay with that. Sack here. We still get the loot. Yes. And we will discard the Haunted Dead. And we would like to draw a 4th mana, so that we could play both Key to the City and bring back the Haunted Dead. And there it is, a good deal. Let's play Key to the City. And we will pass. Fevered Visions, okay. Well, let's... And we accidentally went too far. See, we're in end phase now, so our Prized Amalgam will not come back until our end phase. We'll discard this, and discard the Fiery Temper. Okay, a land, so we will discard to give our prototype unblockable. Not that it matters, we just want our Bloodhall Priest madnessed out so our Lupine Prototype can attack. That's fine. And deal 2 damage. And swing for 8. There we go. Draw a card here. Midnight Oil, that's fine. There comes our Amalgam, that if we had managed to trigger it before the end phase, would have come back on our opponent's end phase and been able to attack this turn. And unless they have a sweeper, I think they're dead here. Or very close to it. There's Radiant Flames. Still have 9 potential here. And we will continue. Do we want to draw? Sure. No, let's not tap all of the reds, please. Okay, well, Bomat Courier. And then we will bring back Haunted Dead, discarding our hand. And now all these can attack, and our opponent can die. Yeah, an additional 2 there. And I think we'll try to fit in one more game. I'll see you there. Okay, we don't really have a discard. Well, we've got discard outlets in the form of lightning axes. It's a very burn-heavy hand. I think we'll try this. Lead off with the mountain in case we need to lightning axe a 1-drop. Not likely, but you never know. Okay, Lava Step Raider. I don't know that I have ever played against Lava Step Raider in Magic Duels before. Guess there's a first time for everything. Let's... I mean, we could kill this. It's 3 mana and gets +2/+0. I think we'll just cast our Asylum Visitor for now. Hope to draw a 3rd land on our next turn. That would allow us to Lightning Axe and still hold up mana to bring back the Haunted Dead. And I'm going to trade here. We're against mono red, should try to preserve our life total. Kessig Forge Master, okay. That's the one that deals a damage when it's blocked or blocking, and then flips and deals 2, okay. Well, unfortunately, we did not draw a land, so we can either Avacyn's Judgment, or we can go ahead and Lightning Axe and put our Haunted Dead in the graveyard. I think I'm going to go ahead and Lightning Axe. Discard the Haunted Dead. see what else they've got going on. Breakneck Rider, okay. And then it transforms into Neckbreaker? Yes. We really do need another land. But, as we don't have that, we're going to Lightning Axe this thing and discard the Orrery as it is least likely to do anything in the near future. And we'll just Bomat Courier and start exiling cards. Alright. If we don't draw a land or two, I don't think we're going to get into this game. Opponent sure is having an okay time making their land drops, unfortunately. At least they played 2 1-toughness creatures so we can get some value from Avacyn's Judgment. That is, if they don't have a pump spell in hand. Well, we finally drew a 3rd land, so that's good. At the very least, we can hold up red for our Bomat Courier. Now, there is a Titan Strength, so saving their werewolf, it looks like. And we will pass. Probably attacking. And we will not be blocking. Then they may just pass back to flip this thing. But no, Hanweir Garrison. That's a bit of a problem as well. Bloodhall Priest. Alright, we're probably just going to Fiery Temper here and attack. We could attack and then when they blocked, sacrifice to draw the 2 cards that are exiled. And Fiery Temper with Madness here. But I'm going to burn it. Try to get a little bit more value from this. This could come back to bite us if they end up killing this. Again, another land would be an excellent draw. That way we could play it and Madness out the Bloodhall Priest when we sacrifice Bomat Courier. Okay, so flip. Another Courier. Okay. Well, we want to cast this using the Swamp, I think. And swing with both. Could have also held the 2nd Courier in hand and Haunted Deaded. Might have actually been the better play, but... Lathnu Hellion. Okay. So that's 7 damage coming our way. I think I want to sack one of these Bomat Couriers. The one with the cards. The most cards, that is, and under it. Okay, another Bloodhall Priest. That is useful. So is Skysovereign. However, we're not empty-handed any longer, so we can't actually get the comes into play trigger to kill this from the Bloodhall Priest. We could sacrifice the Courier, playing the Bloodhall Priest, and then we could Haunted Dead first. Lots of lines here. If we Haunted Dead, we don't have the mana to Bloodhall Priest. Let's attack first. And I think we can get the trigger from the Bloodhall Priest if we're playing it from Madness. I don't think we draw the cards until after we cast the Priest. I may be wrong about that, and if I am, we're probably just dead. But let's go ahead and try it. Yeah. Yep. Confirm. And I'm right, so we will have no cards in hand. So the trigger will happen and kill the werewolf here. Drew Kalitas, that's good too. And Bloodhall Priest hopefully won't die and can kill this Hellion. Although, if they don't have any energy, this is going to die. I don't think we can afford to take the 4 damage, is the biggest thing. Alright, Flaring Flamekin. It's another one we haven't seen. Or I haven't seen, at least, in a long time. Fiery Temper, okay. So as much as I would like to get Kalitas onto the board here, I actually think our best bet is to bring back Haunted Dead, discarding the not Kalitas cards, and Fiery Tempering the Flaring Flamekin. We also could have done that on the opponent's turn, just to see if they wanted to try to put an enchantment on that thing. But I don't want to get too cute and get blown out by a combat trick. Collective Defiance, okay? So probably going to 6 here. Alright, doing all of the things. Discarding a land there. Alright, so we get to cast Kalitas now. If he lives, we should be in okay shape from the lifelink there. Go ahead and get in with our spirit. Let's see if we live the turn. Another Lava Step Raider. They only have enough to pump it once. They could have a Titan Strength or something in hand built to smash any of the plus spells. So I'm going to swing. See if they try to kill Kalitas with a combat trick, and if they do, I can disintegrate. Looks like they are not. So I'm going to hold the Aether Hub so that I can get to 2 cards to play the Haunted Dead, but I want to unlicense disintegrate this. This time I am going to give them the chance to play something on there. If they're not showing green, they can't really stop the unlicensed disintegration from killing it, unless there's something that I'm just missing. And they choose not to attack. Okay, well, we will kill this on their instep then and get ourselves a zombie. Alright, they have left. We will continue playing. And we're going to sacrifice this zombie so that we get a little bit more life gain. Go ahead and play our land as well. and swing for 6, gaining back 5. Arsonist. Well, that will probably prevent us from killing them this turn. But we will swing anyway. Block here. And they don't even get to kill our spirit here because Kalitas prevents the trigger from happening. So we will play Haunted Dead and then reanimate Scrapheap Scrounger on their turn. Well, we'll go ahead and Haunted Dead during their combat phase there, so get our Scrounger in the yard as well. And we'll pause and bring back the Scrounger as well. Exile a Bomat Courier, that's fine. Shame we don't have any prized amalgams in the yard. But I think this is enough to get the job done. And that will be it for this episode of Friday Night Magic, friends. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please leave a like below. It really does help tremendously. And hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos from me in the future. I have been Teveron, and until next time, be excellent to each other.